It was the hardest thing I've ever been through. For the first several months, almost a year, I couldn't sleep for more than 15 minutes at a time, even with pain medication. Good morning, I'm Diana and this is LaTanya.
Just 8 months after she became a nurse, Diana Rouse moved a patient which injured her back and ended her career on the nursing floor.
It was very difficult for me to accept that I could no longer work as a nurse on the floor. It was my dream to be there and to have direct patient contact. I wanted to make a difference in people's stay in the hospital. Today I'm still living in pain. I haven't had one moment without pain since the accident happened. Okay.
Diana's story is all too familiar. 1 in 5 injuries in 2005 was related to patient mobility, and almost all of the injured were nurses. But with the proper tools, attitude, and technique, most of these injuries can and should be eliminated.
We know you have no lower mobility in your legs, so we're actually going to do this for you. All right, we just brought Vivian back.
In Richmond, Chrissy Morgan and her patient mobility team are celebrating a 42% drop in injuries.
Are you in? That's our slogan. That's what we use here in the facility, and we ask you to be in every day. So when your foot hits the door in the morning, you've started with safety, and you've ended with safety.
Anytime patients can't move themselves and a nurse needs help, the team is called in.
So they come in and they would assess the patient for their mobility to see what it is that we need to move. Safety is everybody's responsibility. It's not up to Kaiser to keep me safe. That's my job. And when I work safe and I work smart, I go home happy. It allows me to come back tomorrow and be able to care for the patients that we care for every day. Good job, guys. Thank you very much.
My advice for any other RN or anyone working on the floor is just take the time to get help if you need to move a patient, because one moment can change the rest of your life.
Whether it's lifting linen or disposing of trash, EVS employees are at the highest risk for workplace injuries. Chances of being injured on the job are about 1 in 3 each year.
I didn't pay attention by myself to do it the right way. I would just dump it and keep going and keep going.
In Sacramento, Irma Brown learned the hard way that too much heavy lifting can result in carpal tunnel syndrome.
And I say, wow, something wrong in my arm.
To treat her injury, Irma had to go on modified duty and wear a splint for several weeks.
I was a little upset when I get home. I want to cook, I want to do a lot of stuff, and I can't do that, I can't. And I got like a cast, so I keep in my arm like this for 3 weeks, and I was like, oh my God, it's a little pain. So I'm learning, so now I'm very careful.
In Vallejo's rehab department, Daryl Bradshaw hurt himself twice lifting wet linen.
Because I figured if I keep injuring myself, what's going to eventually happen? Me going into modified, my job could only accommodate me for so long. And then once there's a permanent injury, and then I'm out there on workers' comp or something, living off of that, I'm going to get another job.
But now Daryl and his colleagues don't have to lift a thing. Vallejo has used workplace safety funds to install a no-lift collection system.
And we haven't had a single lifting injury in the areas where it's been implemented, so it's been really effective.
Employees attach linen hampers to an electric mover, which helps transport them to the soiled linen room. Here, employees attach each hamper to the lift, and the contents are safely deposited into a larger hamper. Daryl says he can't imagine doing his job the old way.
You're basically picking up weight all day long, 2 or 3 times for one bag. Where this system, we only have to really just let the machine do the work. There's no lifting. You don't touch it at all, really, just tie the bag.
It's absolutely been worth it. The potential for somebody, losing their livelihood or their quality of life, it's absolutely the thing to do.
There is no job that has to be done unsafe.
Heavy lifting is all part of a day's work for EVS aide Homer Sullivan. But it doesn't have to be done alone.
That's too heavy.
Homer wishes he'd asked for help a few years ago when he injured his leg lifting some boxes.
My daughter had to wheel me around in a wheelchair. which wasn't a lot of fun, and then she had to take time off from work so that she could help me. And of course, she had to be there to get my prescriptions, take me to the doctor, to cook my food. So it's beneficial to work safe. It's good for everybody.
Today, the grandfather of 8 is happy to be back at work and is now a co-lead on the Santa Teresa Workplace Safety Team. Once a week, Homer goes on a walkabout,
Oh, that's not good.
looking for and documenting potential hazards around the facility.
Could be a tear in the carpet. Maybe the car's parked on the wrong side of the hallway, which is in the fire lane.
Thank you.
Maybe they left their closet door open where the chemicals are.
And close the door. That's a safety violation.
So it could be any number of things, but we don't want that. My 4 steps to workplace safety: stop, think, observe, and plan. You can't go wrong with that. And I have signs all over the hospital. Any place they'll let me put them, I'll put them, because I want to remind our staff to work safe.
What do you put in these things? Bricks?
Homer also helped launch the Ask for Help program,
Thank you.
and the program is paying off.
This is too heavy for me to carry. I'm going to call for help.
The EVS department hasn't had a single injury in more than 9 months
I need help.
and shows every sign of making it an injury-free year.
We're trying to cover all bases.
Okay, now
I'm very, very proud of the LMP for one thing, the Labor Management Partnership. I'm also proud of the EVS Workplace Safety, the WPS, because without them, we just couldn't, we couldn't function. I mean, it's a win-win situation for everybody.
From typing on a computer to filing a chart to repositioning a patient, ergonomics play a critical role in the health and safety of every employee. In Fremont, Dr. Hannah Moore had an ergonomic dilemma. Her newly installed wall-mounted computer wouldn't swivel, so she swiveled her head instead.
I got a pretty severe neck pain that radiated down into the shoulders and the upper back and down my arms.
It's been hurting for about 3 weeks.
And it became really difficult to concentrate on patients and their problems.
Dr. Moore obtained a movable computer cart, which enables her to face the patient and type without straining her neck.
And some ear pain in the right ear.
She also had an ergonomic assessment to make sure her new workstation was set up correctly.
Let's take a look at them together.
She says she hasn't had any job-related pain since she made the switch.
Okay, so you're going to be really good from now on.
Yeah.
I would really advise that other physicians pay attention right away, whether they're comfortable or not. And if they are not, that they get an ergonomic assessment of their workplace immediately. I think that prevention is very, very important.
So what are your main concerns about your work area and your work?
An ergonomic specialist can help employees assess their workstation and body mechanics.
Yeah, right now I'm looking up too much.
And if necessary, they can supply you with the proper equipment to work safely.
I can feel my shoulders relaxing because I'm kind of looking down rather than extended.
Okay.
So.
Safety at home is second nature for most of us. Maggie Redding uses a pot holder to handle a hot kettle. She sips her tea to avoid getting burned. But at work, personal safety is sometimes an afterthought. A few years ago, the Sacramento nurse tripped on a cord and broke both elbows, which left her rethinking her priorities.
That was when I realized, holy moly, I'm not going to be able to do anything, and I started to cry. And he said, this is the time to cry, because when I get done with your other arm, you're not going to be able to wipe your tears. It was a very scary time. I had just started to work for Kaiser and didn't have any financial reserve really, so that was also scary. How was I going to feed myself? How was I going to dress myself, brush my teeth, comb my hair? I couldn't do any of these things for myself.
Today, Maggie is fully recovered and on the lookout for her own safety, as well as the safety of others. When there's a potential tripping hazard, she eliminates it. When she can't, she lets someone know.
Hi, I'm Keith. I'm a patient mobility tech here at Kaiser. And I'm standing next to a poster. Guy looks kind of familiar, doesn't he? Well, actually, that's me. I'm wearing personal protective gear. That's just to put in your mind that whether at home, whether you're at work, you just want to protect yourself at all times. Okay, this guy has a little overkill going on here. In the hospital, we would probably just wear something like gloves, but our main idea is we want to be conscious of safety at all times. So when you pass by and see this poster, and you can probably see it just about any Kaiser you go to, put in mind safety. Bring safety to work.
Over 6 decades ago, Dr. Sidney Garfield went into the Mojave Desert to deliver care to the workers building the California Aqueduct. A major focus of his was to prevent workplace injuries. Since then, Kaiser Permanente has been a national leader in preventive health care, and workplace safety is an important part of that effort. The personal stories of the physicians and employees that you have seen are inspiring. We owe it to ourselves and to one another to keep each other safe and free from injury. I thank you for your efforts and look forward to our success.